Have you ever made a joke about being on a government watch list, or have you ever said something like that and one of your friends has been like, oh, come on, Kurt, that doesn't actually happen. You know, they're not after you or anything like that. Have I got one for you here today? You indeed, as a firearms owner and someone who believes in the Constitution and all those American values and principles. Yeah. Yep, you were going to be on it. Yep. The plan is in. A document has just been declassified by Tulsi Gabbard and her team over at National Security. Now, I've been beating the drum, as well as many of my colleagues have been very vocal about the trend, which is this sort of like continuous march to marginalize and isolate, rules for radicals type stuff, individuals and groups who are freedom oriented, who are constitutionally principled, and specifically in our space, like certain things that are protected by the Second Amendment of the Constitution of the United States, especially those things that might, push that envelope a little bit, or those of us who speak about certain things online. We have noticed a consistent march in a particular direction to marginalize we the people. And we've never really had a definitive smoking gun, pardon the pun, I suppose, to point to, but there have always been tells that some directive somewhere has been pointing in that direction. Well, today, I'm going to show you one of those things. After we hear a quick word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by the Modern Gun School. This is not the other place that you've heard online that is cool with taking your entire GI Bill and running with it. This is an accredited online university. Whether you just want to learn a few things or you want to break into a career in the firearms industry, check them out at Modern Gun School, and let's hop into the video. This was the active plan under the Biden administration, and it was called Strategic Implementation Plan for Countering Domestic Tourism. It is organized around the strategy's 4 pillars, whose development was informed by comprehensive assessment of today's domestic tourism threat, provided by appropriate elements of the intelligence and law enforcement communities in March 2021. Translation for you. Dirty Joe's asleep over there after having had his ice cream. The National Security Advisor, quote unquote, gets together with a whole bunch of cops and says, we're going to spy on American citizens. What are those 4 pillars? Pillar 1, understand and share domestic tourism related information. Pillar 2, prevent DT recruitment and mobilization to violence. Pillar 3, disrupt and deter domestic tourism activity. And Pillar 4, confront long-term contributors to DT. I mean, most of those things sound pretty innocuous, or if not innocuous, like things that we would probably all agree are things that we would probably like our government to do when it comes to actual domestic tourists that are going to go do some bad stuff somewhere, right? To prevent that sort of thing. It's kind of like one of their jobs, right? However, when you get into the minutiae of what they're calling a DT, well, it gets kind of dicey. Let's go to the last couple pages here. Under intended impacts, norms of nonviolent political expression and rejection of racism and bigotry are strengthened. Americans have increasing faith in democracy and government. Does that sound familiar to any of you?
The MAGA Republicans don't just threaten our personal rights and economic security. They're a threat to our very democracy.
This is extremely dangerous to our 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 democracy.
When a democracy is intact, it strengthens the people, it protects and fights for fundamental freedoms, individual rights. It's a fight for order against chaos.
We live in a representative republic, by the way. Let's continue. Strengthen civics education that promotes democratic resiliency. Increased civic engagement to foster social cohesion. Rein in the proliferation of ghost guns and encourage state adoption of extreme risk protection orders and drive other executive and legislative actions, including banning assault weapons, and high-capacity magazines. This document is littered with other references. Those are the ones that were just like hitting the nail right on the head. But for instance, this one, explore options to engage with states on using laws that already exist in all 50 states, prohibiting certain private paramilitary activity and other activities that could assist in countering DT. That's the whole thing that we saw about various states trying to ban certain types of firearms training. Remember that? Or, for instance, enhance public understanding of the role of federal law enforcement in responding to incidents of concerning non-criminal behavior. As in, you should just expect cops to come hang out. You should see them around, and it's not strange to see federal agents roaming around your communities. This batch of gobbledygook right here that talks about working with private entities to curtail certain types of content online. I mean, it even mentions weaponizing the COOF and safe storage requirements. We knew that we were being targeted. It was not hard to see. You look at the pistol brace regulation, the frame and receivers rule, the engage in the business rule, the zero tolerance policy. You look at the people like Brian Malinowski, who was murdered by the ATF. You look at the people who are still behind bars that were prosecuted for various things, like the Adamayak kid that was that had basically toy guns that the government converted into machine guns by taking parts that he did not possess and putting them in there. And like Matthew Hoover and the stupid non-functional dimensionally incorrect drawing of a lightning link on a piece of material, like all of it. You put them all together and you say, all right, there's clearly some kind of overarching directive going on here. And there you have it, folks. We were all being politically targeted by the previous administration. I would like to know your thoughts on this in the comments section down below. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully we'll see you on another one here in the VSO Gun Channel.